Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. This is part 1 to the Fallout Power Armor build. Enjoy. So to start off this build, I'm going to use a very large box for the chest plate, and we're going to take a close look at my mech suit because it's a good example of how I made a large armored suit. Now, as you can see right here underneath the missiles I made back in 2020, I think, we have these big shoulder plates that go over the shoulders, and that is what is bearing all the weight of the mech suit. And as you can see, that's the inside. It's pretty hollow, but I have a piece of steel holding up the shoulders with another piece of paracord. This is a very, very old build, so it's actually kind of fallen apart, but it's a great display item. On the other side, same thing. We have this very robust shape here, holding all the weight. So like usual, the complete design I sketched out myself because I wanted it to be a little bit custom and a mix between the T45 armor and the T60 because both of those I really like. So I'm going to incorporate elements like the shoulder pads and chest plate from the T45 and then everything else from the T60. So for the chest plate here, I got this large rhombus shape right here, and that's going to be the top, and then I have this rectangle the size of the bottom line there, and I'm going to glue them together at an angle. I added some panels on the side here, and then I'm going to fill in these corners as well. Okay, so now that that piece is complete, we're going to build a back plate to mount some shoulder straps onto, so then we have a good base to build the rest of the body off of. So here's how the torso looks so far. It is being held open in this position just by the position of the cardboard and the foam. But when I bend it down this way, it's starting to come together, and these are all just practical things like bearing weight on the shoulder. That's why they're double thick cardboard with some foam underneath, and we need a good base. That's why this is still plain flat, and this is still open like this. But now we're gonna add something like a hip plate, and that's all going to be custom as well, and that is to mount a buckle strap, so I can do that on the sides. Right now we're just going to build the hip plates. Like usual, we're going to strengthen this cardboard by doubling it up, and I like to do that by a lot of Gorilla Glue because you have a lot more working time than hot glue. And then I use hot glue for the edges to hold it in place because it will dry quicker and it will seal it very well, and then the Gorilla Glue will dry over time and it will be much stronger in about, I don't know, half hour. Let that dry. So here's our current progress, and now I'm gonna make a flexible stomach, and it's gonna be inspired closer by the T45. It's actually just gonna be fixed into a still position, but it's just these 3 panels that look like this, and they're layered on top of each other. I'm just gonna glue them in place like that. To add more dimension to the stomach, which is just fixed panels, I took about 2 inches off the middle of the stomach, and I have all of these little rectangles, which I'm going to assemble in a pattern just to break up the singular geometry here. So I want to add some more depth by lining these up in like a vent. So here it is mounted on one side, so I can open it up and put it on. And I have this large buckle with strap I'm going to attach on the inside and fix it in place with some hot glue so I can clip it and open and close it. So here's the power armor with the 2 extra clips I added there and the one right on the right hip, and that's so I can lock it in place so it stays just like that. Now we're going to take a break from the torso. Next thing would be adding some detail on the back, and we're going to start working on the shoulder pads, which I chosen the ones from the T60 because they're a little bit more intricate and a little bit more interesting. So the T60 shoulder pads consist of one very large plate of cardboard, and I drew this shape out completely out of my mind, and it's completely custom made. And you can edit these along the way. I don't use templates. It's just easier for me to draw it out and cut it out on my own. So I drew this large shape with an angle like that because I plan to put another plate here to mimic that angle the shoulder pads have. Now we're just going to add all the lines and details on the top of the shoulder pads, like this whole piece. I just kind of cut out a bunch of pieces of cardboard until it matched the shape right there. I didn't have any templates, of course, and I'm just going to multiply this to make it thicker, and then do the same thing to put the lines on the side, and then we'll put the second shoulder pad that goes underneath here right there. Now I'm going to attach the shoulder pads with a double thick piece of cardboard. I bent it right there. I'm going to glue it right under the shoulder straps that we made earlier, and then I'm going to glue it up at an angle like that one, and then the surface will be glued straight to the surface of the shoulder pad right here. And here's the progress so far, looking pretty good. Now, this video is pretty long already, so we're going to wrap it up here as a part 1. Next thing I'm going to do is probably add some kind of hoses to go around the hips there and up the back, and put some like containers of gas on the back, and then also build the helmet. But for now, this will conclude the part 1 of this build. Here's what it looks like, open and unbuckled. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like these builds that I do, like and subscribe for more videos.